Confirm and go live. All right. How's everyone going? Welcome to the new start time. It must be 4 p.m. on a Monday. I'm digging it. I hope you guys don't mind. As I mentioned last week, we are starting 4 to 6 going forward. Uh-oh. I already messed it up, but that's all right. Let's see. Here we go. I'm back. So welcome. It's nice to see everyone in chat. Wow, I made it to the start. Yes. Yes, you did, Joel. Yes, you did. Hopefully it's because of the earlier start time. I don't know. Yes, I do gotta. Kent's Fish with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Kent. I appreciate it. I assume daylight saving times had begun or ended. That's a fair assumption, but nope. Earlier start time, 4 to 6. Trying it out. Gonna see how it goes. And, I don't know. We'll do it for like a month. Take a look at the analytics. And, yeah. Fish Tank Barn with the $5 super chat says, movie rental fund. Yes, I did not get it refunded. So, yeah, that was a big fail. And Kyle brings up an excellent point. If you could hit the like button, we're going to give it a few minutes. New start time, notifications go out. So while we're waiting, if you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up button, I would appreciate it. It means a lot. The only thing I ask for. So what are we going to talk about today? I think we're going to talk about some fish. We're going to talk about Dan's fish a little bit. And as you can see in the pinned comment there, I finally went ahead and did that. So yeah, we'll talk about that and maybe some other stuff, answer some questions, have some laughs. Pretty much your typical Monday night live stream. Lurking while I skate. The Quad Master Susie Q. How you doing? Good to see you. Ah, boy. Works better for New Zealand. Thanks. Yeah, honestly, I'm doing it because I didn't like ending the stream at 7 my time. Doesn't really give you a lot of time to do stuff after the stream. So, yeah. 6 o'clock. Now that gives me enough time. I know it's only an hour, but mentally, like at 7 o'clock, then I got to take the dogs out and kind of unwind a little bit. I was like 7:15, 7:20, and then I'm like, well, I don't want to go grocery shopping this late. I don't want to do this, but like if it was still 6 o'clock when I end my stream, 6:15 after I take the dogs out, I'm like, man, still got a couple hours left in the day. Speaking of dogs, there they are on cue right now. So movie night didn't go well. Had my little cousin's birthday party, so didn't make it. Should I watch the movie myself, or is there a redo? There will be a redo. So we did have our members only movie night on Friday, and prior to me reaching out to YouTube creator support, they assured me that if I rent a movie on YouTube, I can then stream it privately to my members without getting in trouble. Well, I think we made it like 11 or 12 minutes into the movie, and boom, the stream was cut off. So, yeah, pretty disappointing. But we're gonna try it again on a different platform this week. We'll head on over to Discord, and we'll try it over there. Also, I do want to mention, you can see my AC unit over here. If it gets too hot, I will be turning that thing on as well. I know it's annoying to listen to it, but it's like 87 degrees right now in this room. You still got an evening then. Exactly. 7 o'clock, it's like, because I go to bed, I try to go to bed before 9 because I get up at 3:30. So, hello, Bob from Houston. Hello, Nate from Seattle-ish. And Curtis with the $1 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Woot woot. Blue Water Gym in the Heezy. Word to your mother. All right. I that's not my words. I'm just reading a comment. So the movie didn't go. I feel bad for missing it now. Yeah, it was a no-go. It didn't happen. Yeah. So, I'm not going to lie. It was pretty annoying. Pretty annoying to have YouTube say, yes, you can do something, and then to have it get shut down right away. But anyways, what are you gonna do? It's in the past. No point in dwelling over it now. So if you see my pinned comment, you do see Dan's Fish there. I am an affiliate for Dan's Fish now, and you might ask why. Why me, as someone who sells fish, be an affiliate for someone else who sells fish? And well, the answer is simple, because I'm not going to sell fish anymore. I'm going to be redirecting everyone over to Dan's Fish. And the second part of the why, I'm going to show you right now. So we're going to head on over to Dan's Fish. And hopefully Dan's Fish doesn't copyright strike me like YouTube does with, their own content. But where'd it go? Right here, Rainbow Fish. 43 listings. 43 listings. Now, one thing I don't know, do they actually have 43 in stock? Oh, I see. So some of these are redundant, like 10 instead of just one. Maybe that's what's going on here. But as you can see, all kinds of rainbow fish. And yeah, you know the old saying, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's what's going on right now. Not to mention okay, wait a minute. Hold the phone, Dan. I don't know if you're rewatching this, but you got hill stream loaches in the rainbow fish. Now, I never claimed to be a fish expert, but I do claim to know a little bit about fish, and I don't think hill stream loaches are in the Melanotania or any of the rainbow fish family. So, there you go. If you're rewatching this, yeah, you got 8 more over here. Hey, it's a new website. It may look the same, but it's now a proprietary website, so things might have just got mixed up in the shuffle. What are you going to do? Well, like I said, if you can't beat him, join him. He's the best in the business, in my opinion, when it comes to, well, here, let's go back. You want to see everything they offer. Yeah, just, a lot of cool stuff, so. Anyways, best in the business, in my opinion, when it comes to shipping. I mean, the dude puts every fish in its own bag. That is absolutely insane to me. I don't get it. I mean, I know why, obviously, right? If you have 10 fish in a bag and one dies, pretty good chance it might kill all the other ones. I just don't understand how you do that and do it profitably. Uh-oh. My phone forgot that I was live streaming at 4 o'clock instead of 5, and it's giving me my weekly reminder that my live stream starts soon. So let me turn that off. Fix that for next week. Hey Bob, the co-op has some top secret products coming out in the coming months, years, but what about light risers for rimmed tanks? Have you and Corey ever discussed such a product? I'm not really in the loop on the co-op products. I mean, I know of some of those top secret stuff, but I am not in those meetings as far as what they discuss. I've never even thought about light risers because they're kind of out there, and I don't know that there's a high demand for them. A lot of people hang their lights, but there's a lot of people 3D printing light risers, so look for that online. People that 3D print, they're usually pretty cheap. But yeah, there are some websites that sell like 3D printed light risers, and you can tell them what light you have. That doesn't say Dan's Fish under. What? It should be my pinned comment. It should be my pinned comment, hopefully. Biscotti at Nunya says, have a good stream. I'm flying from PDX to Denver. Sadly, I don't have enough time to check out the wet spot. That is a fun flight. The most turbulence I ever get is flying into Denver. So I have a tough call. I got a gift card for my birthday. Should I buy 20 fire red cherry shrimp, home bred, or 5 Bosemani rainbows, big box store? Same price. The thing is, if you buy 5 Bosemanis, I mean, maybe you already have some, and you're like adding to your school, but eventually I would think you'd want to get more. Whereas cherry shrimp, you buy 20 cherry shrimp, you're going to have more within a month. You're going to have 100 of them. Man, I feel like if I already had other rainbow fish and I didn't have any shrimp, I would go with the shrimp. If I already had shrimp and I didn't have rainbow fish, I'd go with the rainbow fish. That's how I would do it. And I don't know, you probably have both, so who knows? Steenfott T-Shot says, have you ever seen white moss-like growth come from a piece of wood in your aquarium? I had it in there for over a year, and it started growing 3 months after I put it in. I've only experienced, is it kind of like a slimier white? When I put new wood in, like manzanita, every time I put new manzanita in my tank, it grows like this white fungus for like a good 2-3 months. Now, the good news is it's not harmful. Bristlenose plecos will just eat it all day long. They love it. I don't exactly know what it is, but I have gotten it. And that might be what you're experiencing. It's kind of weird that it took so long for it to start. Normally when I drop in new wood, like manzanita, like I said, especially, like that white mossy slime stuff is on there within like a week. So have you ever had ACI yellowtail Malawi? I discovered them yesterday. I need them in my life. No, because in my experience, the ACI are a bit too aggressive for me. They're not the most aggressive, but they're in my experience, they've been pretty dang aggressive. KG Cichlids is here. Holy smokes. See? The earlier start time, we get different people in here. KG, I don't think Kevin's been to a stream in about 4 years. So that's pretty awesome. Casual Aquatics, 4 babies I need to get rid of. I have other rainbows, no Bosemani though, and no cherry shrimp though. Oh, so I would go with the cherry shrimp. I think shrimp are super fun and something that everyone should keep at least once in this hobby. Lurking, mopping, and dusting while listening. Welcome to the Lurk crew. I don't know, is there a name for lurkers? Like, I don't want to say like Lurk Squad, because that's, I hate that. I hate when people say squad. It's been 84 years. 84 years. So basically yesterday, when it comes to my timeline. Danikin Aquatics, what's up, Seeple? Hello. Also, let's shout out to Danikin Aquatics, the president of the... Hey, buddy. Hi. You're drooling on me, though. That's kind of gross, buddy. Thanks, though. I appreciate it. Shout out to the Greater Portland Aquarium Society president. Mr. Danikin Aquatics is hosting a Fishtoberfest October 11th, maybe. I will be there. October 10th. October 10th. It is a Sunday, so I'm gonna assume 10th, and I'm gonna say Lawrence Kent is one of the speakers. And if you haven't been to a Lawrence Kent talk, I highly advise going. If you're kind of on the fence, you're like, I don't know, maybe I'll go, maybe I won't. Lauren Kent. He's just a super fun dude to listen to until he tells stories. He's been like to every lake in Africa, collecting all over the world. He knows like oops. There's my second backup alarm that my stream starts in 45 minutes. He knows like 100 languages. It's just, he's just a really nice guy as well. So, like I said, he's a really fun speaker. I'd highly recommend going if you're kind of on the fence. And I'm sure Danikin will correct me, but I'm pretty sure it's October 10th. Maybe not. Ozzy, what's going on, buddy? Aliska, how's it going? I don't know why I went up an octave there. How's it going? Carrie, Science Gal Aquatics, hello. Plus, when you have 100 shrimp, they can populate one of my tanks. Exactly. Curtis, get cherry shrimp just so Kenny can have some in a couple months. Ruben Daly says, should I wait until I have root tabs or should I be fine to set up a 5-gallon planted tank and then get them after? Get what after? I'm assuming you're talking about plants. Speed 13, Speed Fiend Took me a while to decipher that one. Speed Fiend says, is it okay to trim off excess globs of silicone on outside corners of Aquarium tanks? On smaller tanks, I probably wouldn't have a problem doing it. Like 40 and under. Like the 55, the glass is really thin in my opinion for a 55. So even though that glob might seem excess on a 55, I'd probably keep it on there just because. It's probably doing nothing, but it would make me feel better to see a little extra silicone on a 55. 75 and up, probably not a big deal. So I'd say on most sizes, you're probably okay to take off like extra globs of silicone. I know on those dollar per gallon sales, the quality control is usually not the greatest. And you can see like just drips of globs of silicone just randomly on the glass somewhere. Nate says, are you doing any summer tubbing? Yes, I've got a summer tub of my golden white clouds, my gold white clouds that refuse to spawn. This is year number 2 now of them being out there, and I've gotten 0 fry. I have another tub with Buenos Aires tetras and Hawaiian variatus platies, so that's a really good one. The platies, I love those platies. I have a tub of brine shrimp. I have which is brackish. I have a tub of trout goodeids, and finally a tub of platinum rice fish. And also, yes, who gets the shout out here? I just saw it. Seeple, shout out to Seeple, says 130 watching, only 50 likes. Don't forget to hit the like button. A lot of new people here. Let's get that like button going. You hit the like button, it sends out more notifications. More people come in, and you know it gets a little hectic. So, have I ever used a pond pump and a tube to refill and fill a tank? Son of a quack, I have used a pond pump to empty tanks. That's how I do my water changes now. I would never use a Python to drain my tanks because it would take forever. Especially because I have a 50-foot hose, and the siphon on a 50-foot hose with like 20 aquariums will just take forever. So I have I don't know the specific model, but it is a Rio brand pump, and I just connect the hose to it. It goes right out the window and into my lawn, and it's the only area of my lawn that is still green right now because it's been 100 degrees for like 2 months straight. Although it is supposed to rain this week. We'll see. They're still not any better at predicting the weather. What is going on behind me? Oh my gosh, he's chewing on his toy. Okay, yes, the 10th. Saw his fish room tour with the co-op the other day and super excited to see him. Oh yeah, Lawrence Kent. He's such... The last Lauren Kent's talk I went to, and I honestly, I don't know if he does this at every talk, but he gets up there and he's like, hey, we're going to have some fun. We're going to give away some t-shirts, you know, because sometimes, you know, like presenters, they'll bring like fry that they have bread or kind of like maybe books if they're authors to give out. And he's like, we're going to give away t-shirts today. And at the end of this, I'm going to ask some questions. If you get it right, then you'll win a t-shirt. Well, I won. I got one of the questions right, and I got a t-shirt, and he came over handing me just a plain cotton white like Hanes t-shirt. Just like I was expecting maybe like a fish shirt or maybe like it was it was at the Aquatic Experience, so I thought maybe it'd be like some Aquatic Experience shirt, but it was like the ultimate troll. It was just a plain white blank shirt. How do your tubs handle the summer heat in Washington? So it still gets pretty cold here. It's been in the 80s. There's been some days in the 90s and a couple, like one day it got up to 110 and all my fry died. Otherwise, it doesn't really get too hot here. And like I said, mainly we're like mid 80s, and it still gets down into like the 60s and 50s at night. So it's still, they don't really get that warm. Plus, my smallest tub is 100 gallon. My biggest one is 360 gallons. So I don't really have to worry about like huge temperature swings. If I had like the 40 gallon tubs or the 20 gallon tubs, then yes, that would be an issue. But he did the same thing at ACA. Okay, so it's probably just like his MO. It just cracks me up Just cracks me up. Oh wait, was there a second part? Have you ever used it? Yes, Python, but my sink heads don't match them. I want a Python. Oh, so you're using a pond pump now and you want a Python? So on mine, on the faucet, you like unscrew the like little, I don't even know what you would call it, but it has like a little metal filter or something. You just unscrew it off the bottom of the faucet, and then you can go to the hardware store and buy, I got a brass one that screws back up in there and turns it into like a hose adapter. And then I just screw on the Python. If that makes any sense. I hope it does. On a side note, I swear Buenos Aires will not eat plants if you feed them enough vegetable matter. Please research your fish, people. If they're eating plants in my pond, I don't even notice. But to be honest, there's so much duckweed and foxtail. There's bog plants in there. I have grass growing on the algae that's floating around. There's so much plant matter. Like, I wouldn't even notice if they were eating it. Bob, you need to change the buy live fish link in your about page to Dan's fish referral link. When you think about it, it is on my list of things to do. So thank you for reminding me. But yes, it is on my list of things to do. Eventually I will relaunch the website and it'll redirect. Well, you'll go to like, it's just not going to just automatically redirect you. But if you click on the link that says live fish, then it'll redirect you. But now I'm kind of like, do I even want to bring my website back? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It's there's, monthly fees associated with it, and I don't know. There's no other real content on it besides my fish, so yeah, I don't know. You'll get a winner's cup, hands you a lame coffee mug. Oh, lame. I'll rephrase my question from earlier. Would I be fine to set up my 5-gallon planted tank before I got root tabs if I use inert gravel substrate? Yeah, you can add root tabs. I'm sorry, I'm still kind of confused by the question. You are absolutely fine to set it up. You do not need to wait for root tabs if you're setting up a planted tank. Root tabs are something that you add like every 6 months or 3 months or maybe once a year. Really depends on what plants you have in there. So it's not like something you have to do when you start it up. Yeah. My Python didn't work until I removed the washer from the Python adapter, and then it worked. Dakota Browning, Fish Fam, what's poppin'? First time making it live. All right. See? Getting some different people in here with the earlier start time. I'm telling you. Caitlin says, I hated the Python. How dare you? Like the idea, but the adapter seemed cheap and leaky. See, I've had that problem with the Aquarium adapter. Aquarium makes their version of the Python, and it's cheaper, but they're little plastic. I've gone through 2 of them, and I've since switched to the Python, and I haven't had any problems with it. But I think the problem is when you like close the valve on the other end and it creates all that back pressure. Like, I don't do that, because to me that's like, of course it's plastic, it's not going to last if you like build up all this pressure in it. So I don't do that, but I know there's a lot of people that will turn it off and then go to the next tank. And yeah, I don't do that because I know that's what broke my Aquarium ones, and I don't want to break my Python one. So Bob, will you go to the co-op and make a video? Nate, what do you want a video of? You just want like a store tour? KG Cichlid says, yeah, Aquarium adapters crack easily. I agree. I'd be lying if I said the Python didn't make one of the largest differences in fish keeping for me. Game changer, never had an issue. Yeah, I did the bucket brigade for way too long, longer than I'd like to admit. If I was to do it again, I would probably DIY one, knowing the issues I've had with like the plastic Aquarium ones. But so far, knock on wood. Oh, who's here? Oh, go get him. I haven't had problems with the Python. So I only have the Python faucet adapter, and then it goes into the Aquarium part of the water change kit. And even with the Aquarium one at the end where it has that tube, I've even had that like come undone twice, which is kind of annoying. Steenfott Aquatics, good to see you again. Water Barn Tropicals, thank you. I have a horrible hair algae issue in my ponds. What do you do against the... I shouldn't have done that. I got him going. What do you do against... So, hair algae in your ponds... man, I pull out just... Like, I could probably go out to my pond and pull out like 20 feet of hair algae easily. And that's what I do like every week. The only thing I could do is like shade it, and I don't want to shade it because then it's not going to get as warm as I want it to get. So I just pull it out, and I'm probably pulling out eggs, but that's just the way it is. Yeah, I think the only thing you could do is probably just shade it. You could... hair algae is generally from excess nitrates most of the time, but pretty hard to get excess nitrates outside in a pond, in my opinion. That's what I get. There's nobody there, dude. There's nobody there. I don't think the python attached to the sink siphon's as good as straight into a bucket. Do you use the multi-plug adapter for your lights? I saw them the other day and I was wondering if they're any good. Do you use the multi-plug adapter? I'm going to say no. I don't know what you're referring to. Multi-plug adapter. Are you like are you just talking about like a power strip? If you're talking like a circuit breaker or a power strip, yes, I use those. Yes. I know the white fungus you're talking about, and it isn't that. It almost looks like dime-sized clumps of white root moss all over the side. Someone said it could be roots. So strange. I would think it was roots if you had like, I know like when I grow like pothos, sometimes I get white roots out of pothos like growing around in my tank. It's really kind of weird. I assume it's the pothos. It's the only time I ever see it. So that maybe, I don't know. I've never seen it. I've only seen that white, like sludge, slimy moss stuff. I wish I could help you out, but I've never come across that. CJ Black, what's going on? Says, gotta go. Time for summer. Y'all have a good time. I'll catch the replay later. Thank you, CJ Black. I appreciate it. Just got the full 25-foot. Yes, thanks. You got him. You scared him away, buddy. Good job. Don't knock over my water, though. You got the invisible intruder. Yes. Good job. Anyways, where was I at here? Just got the full 25-foot Python kit. Easily the best purchase I've made after having multiple tanks. I feel like if you did a poll of, I don't know, 1 million hobbyists and asked them what was the one thing that made the biggest difference in your hobby, I bet it would be the Python. I don't know of anything else that I've heard that statement about so many times. Bob, is that John's tank behind you? The Oscars were. Zen Ginger, yes. I told him to send me, or I asked him, I didn't tell him, I asked him to send me some Oscar footage for a video I did a long time ago. And I still had the footage, and it was really nice footage, so I put it in the background. There you go. Stir fry guy. I set up a tank with a lot of crazy colored fish. Peacock gudgeons, gardener eye killifish, and glow light danios. Glow light danios, super underrated. Super awesome fish. Highly recommend. Aquarium hose, always blow off of it. I shut the valve off between tanks instead of turning off the flow from the faucet. Yep. That's exactly my point. That's why I don't do it, because it's gonna just explode. I don't even know why. Like whoever like built that product at Aquarium, I feel like they never shut off the valve on the end of it and had it explode. You think that is something they would test for, but for whatever reason, Chad says Aquarium water changer is junk. Yes, I agree. I agree. You turn off that valve and it just blows apart. It's insane. And it's been that way for decades. I mean, I don't know how long this product's been out, but they're never going to fix it. Like, when I looked, I was like, okay, everyone, I don't know, this was years and years ago. Everyone's like, yeah, man, there's so much hype around this Python auto water changer. I go to Amazon and I'm like, oh, the Aquarium is like $15 cheaper and it looks like the exact same thing. So I'm just going to get that one. Oh no. That was probably the worst $15 savings I've ever experienced in my life. I use the Aquaman one for free, so that's what I use. Oh, you got the Aquaman one for free. Well, it's still overpriced in my opinion. Gonna fill my 75-gallon with pygmy sunfish, least killifish, and Chloe. I don't know who that is, but I hope she likes swimming. Hi there, Barbie girl. What? Are you a Barbie girl? My dwarf... Oh, Clown Achilles, not Chloe. Clown Achilles, all right. My dwarf frog died and everything in my tank was fine. Nitrates were at 20, nitrite 0, chlorine 0, and nothing has changed in the tank for about 2 months being fed frozen. I saw nothing on them. I think the problem with those is you never really know how old they are when you buy them. I mean, you could have just bought a grandpa. This is why, first of all, I've never owned one of the one of those dwarf frogs, so you know I'm definitely not an expert. But when it comes to fish, like, I always try to buy the smallest possible fish. So if I'm buying a cichlid, I should say fry, not smallest, but I want to buy fry. So I hate buying adult fish because you just don't know what you're getting. Now there's some fish, especially rainbow fish. If you see a full-size rainbow fish, you can kind of tell if it's towards its last few years, because they do, after you get to like year number 8 to 10 years, and they start getting a little frazzled. They don't really look the best. They're not combing their fins. They're not using conditioner, and they kind of look like they're rode hard and put away wet. But generally, with a lot of fish, like, you don't know how old they are. And it might be the same thing with frogs. He could have just died of old age. Now, there's other things that can cause, spontaneous death if you want it. But it sounds like you were doing everything right. Sounds like you gave it a good life, so hopefully you don't feel too bad, but I understand it still sucks. Been there many times. We all have. I have a DIY one. I think it's time to invest in a Python. The only issues I want with my water change system are the ones that are my fault. Yeah. Freshwater Sea. I agree. I almost overflowed a tank on Sunday, actually. Would have been the first time in actually a long time. It was all the way up and over like the lip that the lid sits on, but it wasn't over the top of the brace. It's so fun to watch them grow up to full size too. Exactly. All right. So anyways, DJ Fat Tony filling up his 75 with pygmy sunfish, least killifish, and clown killies. That is going to be an amazing tank. As long as you're not getting like 4 of each. So as long as you're getting like a good school of each, you should be doing okay. At work loading trucks with pulp, 1:30 a.m. and listening to the best Bob. Can't get any better. Love from Sweden. Oh, that's right. Lily from Sweden. 1:30 a.m. Crazy. I almost overfilled one an hour ago. I was actually surprised how long it's been. Like, I can't even remember. It used to be like a weekly occurrence, but now I can't remember. I can't even remember the last time I overflowed. So, knock on wood, I'm not going to this time, but I'll probably overflow it when I do water changes next week. You're going to need a lot of those pygmy sunfish and least killifish to fill up a 75. I had them both in a 29 full of hornwort, pulled out about 130 fish when I took it down. Susan, I'm here, Bob. Susan, glad to be able to hop on your stream for a couple minutes last week. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Case 2 says, I lost my beloved green terror I've had for 5 years due to old age yesterday. I believe he was around 7 to 8 years old. Constant breeder, so he lived a fast life. Yeah, that's something to think about too. I don't know if there's any scientific data to back this up, but I feel like fish that just breed over and over and over, they kind of don't last as long. I feel like they have kind of a shorter lifespan than, say, like, fish that you don't breed. I guess that's the only other option, right? Richard said, sitting in traffic, but the stream makes it all a little better. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Also, what kind of pygmy sunfish are you going to get? I currently have 6 species of them. 6 species of sunfish. I have baby Corydora, and you are very excited. Corydoras. Some people get very angry when you leave out the S. I'm just warning you, Susan. I've been yelled at for calling him Corydora and not Corydoras. Difficulty level of Madagascar lace plants. I've heard conflicting information. If I had them on a difficulty scale, and first of all, I'm going to tell you right now why you get conflicting information. Because some guy in Texas bought a Madagascar lace plant, and it's growing like crazy because they have the perfect water parameters for Madagascar lace plants. Then you're going to get someone in, I don't know, North Dakota saying, these plants are trash, they're so hard to grow, because they don't grow. Now, I have no idea if this is factually accurate, but the circumstances. So, yeah, you're always going to get conflicting information when it comes to plants. I mean, some of them you're not. Like Crypts, pretty easy. Anubias, pretty easy no matter what. If I had to put them on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably put them in a 5. They can be a bit delicate at times. Ever had San Juan Corys? No, Case 2. I ordered them 2 years ago now. I ordered them 3 times from my wholesalers, and I never got them. Unfortunately, I tried. I did try to get them because it was one of the ones that was regularly on the wholesale list that I've never kept before. So every time they were, I tried to order them and I never got them. Hey, Bobby, still going to ALA. Booked my tickets and room yesterday. Still deciding to drive or fly. I still want to, but there's a lot of unknowns in my future right now. And I would still say I'm like 90-some% positive I'm going. But I cannot say 100% yet. Hey, Big Bomb. Joseph, what's going on, buddy? One is single. Actually, Corydoras is I was gonna say plural, but what is it? Singular? I don't know. I'm having a total brain fart. Corydoras is the correct spelling for just one with the S. Corydoras is 1, and Corydoras is also 2. It's singular and plural. I know. It's a crazy language we got, but those pesky scientific names, that pesky Latin stuff. Steenfott Aquatics, don't give up on them. They are worth getting. It's like a bigger, less stocky stir-by. I'm not gonna give up getting. I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna keep trying. I just don't order fish nearly as often as I used to. So, yeah. I once tried to build a DIY canister filter, and my girlfriend came home to a DIY indoor sprinkler that was turning into an indoor pool very quickly. Well, Kenny, that just got better and better the longer I read that. First, an indoor sprinkler. I mean, that sounds pretty dang fun. And who doesn't want an indoor pool? I mean, that's like the dream. I want an indoor-outdoor. I want a pool like you can, if it's nice outside, I can go swim in that half of the pool. If it's crappy outside, I'll go swim in the indoor half of the pool. I don't know. Makes sense to me. Just got to win that lottery one of these days. Of course, then I got to start buying lottery tickets for that to happen. So that's a pretty tall order to win the lottery when I don't even buy lottery tickets. Texas Fish Room, what's going on, buddy? I was just thinking about you the other day that I haven't seen you in a while. I hope all is well. Oh, this dog, I'm telling you, killing me. So yeah, fish tank barn, still want to. We'll see. We'll see. How many tanks do you own? Nate, technically, I probably own like 100 fish tanks. How many are set up? Let's see. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 7, like 18-ish. 18 tanks set up right now. I have a lot of empty tanks and just a lot of tanks with no water in them. So, yeah. 100's probably exaggerating. Maybe like 60 total. I forgot that you started early. Me too, actually. What was I doing? It was like 3:30, and I was like, oh yeah. And actually, when I scheduled the stream, I still scheduled it for 5 o'clock. So I even forgot then. But, you know, it happens. We were renting, and the carpet took forever to dry. Yes. So luckily, the one time I had a tank leak, it was a 75-gallon, and it was about a month after I got a carpet cleaner. And if you don't know, carpet cleaners suck up water pretty good. So I shot vac like a good majority of it, and then I got out the carpet cleaner to really start sucking it up. Has anyone else had breeding pairs of rainbow cichlid and noticed they are the most prolific breeders ever? I can't even understand how they reproduce so fast and in such mass quantities. That's kind of common with a lot of cichlids, especially Central and South American cichlids. How many dogs do I have and what are their breeds? I have a pit bull mix, a mastiff mix, and a purebred Doberman. 3 dogs. 3 dog. Okay. I was going to say it's like a 3-dog night, but I don't know. Currently looking at LRB Aquatics website and fantasizing about having the best blue dream. Ooh, I almost just said a bad word and I don't even know why. Blue dream shrimp in the country for my tank. They are pretty nice. I cannot lie. The Lucas Brett's blue dream shrimp. I kept them for a short time and they're pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Wow, Bob, I have to have 18 set up with at least 40 more that need to be set up when I convince the wife. The whole side of my house right now is just lined with empty fish tanks because of the move. I still have one unopened $40 40-gallon modular tank you recommended from Petco. Oh, that one, yes. I don't think I ever set mine up either, but it was so cheap I couldn't not buy it. Actually, I think I ended up selling that for like $20 more than I paid for it. So, you know, score. Where was I at? Oh, the new fish room that I'm building. In the garage, like, just stacked under some wood were 3 brand new 40-gallon breeders that I had completely forgot about. That I bought, I don't even know how long ago. Probably like 6 months ago. I totally forgot about them. But I laid them all down and then put a piece of like plywood on them so they, you know, just to help protect them. And then stuff got stacked onto that plywood and then stuff got stacked onto that. And it was just, I just totally forgot about them. And then as I was going along building, I was like, oh, there's 3 brand new tanks under here that I forgot about. Have I ever bought killifish on eBay? No. Would I ever buy killifish eggs on eBay? No. Have I ever heard of anyone having success from buying eggs on eBay? Yes, but it is insanely rare. I've had some really, really, really good fish breeding friends who have bought eggs and have not worked, and it has never worked out for them. So it can be done. There are people that have done it. There's people that have done it easily. But I would say, out of everything I've heard and seen, it's not something I would ever try. That's a nice surprise. It is. It was almost like rediscovering my 300-gallon tank that I bought like 2.5, 3 years ago and completely forgot about. That was a good one. Tesla Killdozer with the $11.63 super chat. Bob, here's your normal oddball super chat. I feel like that's the same amount you did last week, which would make that not so oddball. But who am I to complain? Thank you. It was probably like 11, like 61 or 67. I don't know. It was probably like $5.13. I don't know. Probably way off, but for some reason that number seems really familiar to me. I don't know. Hi Bob, do you still have Little Steen? If so, how is he doing? I actually do not. I do not have Little Steen. David Bob, I have two. Wait, David Bob. David says, Bob, I have 2 10 gallons set up cycling. Shoot me something cool and a little different to put in them each to try and breed. Well, I don't know if you've ever done clown killifish. I would highly suggest those if you haven't. They're a smaller fish, super awesome, and also what I would suggest is a pseudomcgill rainbow fish. It wouldn't be my live stream if I didn't recommend at least one rainbow fish. And if I had to pick one, I would do pseudomcgill luminatus. In my opinion, one of my favorite little nano rainbows. Son of a Quack says, have you ever made green water? I want to give my bamboo shrimp a little snack. Not on purpose. Never have I purposely made green water. I've had it just show up randomly and stick around for a long time, but I've never just purposely said, I'm going to make some green water, and there's been times where I've tried and it hasn't worked out. So yeah, there you go. Never purposely done accidentally many times. And I honestly don't know what the magic formula is to get green water. Someone probably does, but it ain't me. Pompeii Ranch, what's going on? If I ever forgot about 3 brand new 40 breeders, consider me successful. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm successful. It was just a matter of going a bit overboard, I guess, is how I would put that. And I think what would have happened is there was a $1 per gallon sale, and somebody in the area, when I was building my garage fish room, bought like every 20-gallon tank in like a 20-mile radius. And I was like, are you kidding me? So the next $1 per gallon sale, I just bought like everything I could get. Like 40-gallon breeders were super rare, and if I walked into a Petco and there was one, I just bought it because there weren't that many of them. And I ended up with extras, and you put them somewhere, you forget about it. You know, it happened. I actually took some fish tanks to the dump last week, which was bittersweet, but sometimes you just got to do it. I have a paradise fish living outside in a tub by himself. Do you think a 10-gallon will be fine size-wise to overwinter him alone? You want to, I think, one, depending on where you're at, it doesn't really take a lot of cold weather to completely freeze over a 10-gallon aquarium. I don't know that I would try to overwinter any fish in a 10-gallon because there's just not a lot of room for error. I thought a small amount of food or leaves and a lot of light was all it took to make green water. Maybe, but when I do that, I get hair algae, I get string algae, I get green spot algae, I get everything except green water. So, I don't know. Well, hey Bob, what would you recommend for calcium rings on mystery snails? I have cuttle bones, aragonite, and substrate, and add calcium to regular algae wafer and zucchini feedings. Thanks, you're in Inspiration Fish Ranch. Thank you, I appreciate it. What would you recommend for calcium? I would probably, and maybe instead of aragonite, maybe go crushed coral. You will get more calcium out of crushed coral than aragonite. Although there is, calcium in aragonite, but crushed coral will give you a bit more minerals. You could do like oyster shells. I've also done oyster shells before. And then there's the wonder shells. Like if you really need calcium, like your snails, their shells are just degrading. I would go with wonder shell, and then they can just sit there and snack on wonder shells until they finally have enough calcium. Wonder shell is a product that you buy. It's basically a calcium block is what I would call it. But yeah, you can just go online and Google wonder shell. Found one of my Panagoras on the floor underneath my tank today. Bummer. Those are my favorite. He was a corn chip. There's nothing. Okay, there's a lot of things more frustrating, but when a fish jumps out of the tank, to me, that is one of the most frustrating things about this hobby. When I took down my 240 gallon a couple months ago and pulled it out against the wall, I found 3 rainbow fish that jumped out, and I'm just like, why would you do that? It's so frustrating. Like, I have tops, but you do a water change and you forget to throw the top back on, and maybe a couple days later you come back and you're like, oh, and then you throw it on, and meanwhile, a fish jumped out, and you're just like, gosh, it's so frustrating. I have a tank with excess nitrates and indirect sun most of the day, but I get diatom algae. Yeah. Have an extra Fluval Flex 32 gallon if anyone in Seattle area happens to be looking. Plus much more. There you go. Anyone in the Seattle area looking, Ralph Fredrickson. One more reason to get a lid. Yep. Yeah. For me, it's just like, it never fails when I'm doing like 20 water changes. I'm eventually going to forget to put one lid on. Do you know a substitute for wonder shells? I would much rather scoop out some powder rather than having to use a bunch of plastic bags for 3 shells. So there's like cichlid salts that you could try, which have calcium in them. They're not specifically made for calcium. You could buy like bags of calcium powder, which is like what the dry fertilizer people do. You can buy calcium. They buy bags of calcium, whatever, and they mix it all together. Which I just threw out all my all my dry ferts. They all went to the dump last weekend. But yeah, look up dry ferts, and you can get some like bags of calcium that way. My worst fear is that I will do a midnight fridge raid and step on a fish. Hi Bob, sorry you had to get rid of little Steen. Any tips on dealing with a shy fish? I have a male green Texas that always hides despite having dithers and being 9 inches in size. Well, he's got to be, first of all, if you have like, his hide, it's not unnormal for them to just sit in the hide all day. If you had other like likewise sized fish in that area, maybe he would come out. Of course, then you're gonna have aggression issues. But I would say it's not out of the ordinary for them to just sit in one spot, sit in their home, their little hide, and just hide, even with dither fish. You could use cuttlebone for calcium. Yeah, he said, I believe he said besides cuttlebone. I need to raise that's my microphone that covers my mouth. So it's supposed to be in front of my mouth. Supposed to be here, Susan. It is very tuned in to be very close to my mouth to try to minimize the outside noise. However, it's not very effective with, the dog barks and stuff. But yeah, the camera is like way down here. See? Boop, boop. I'm wearing a black shirt, which doesn't help. Sergeant Tank, shout out Sergeant Tank. I could not slouch. Maybe that would help, but then I'm not slouching. And where's the comfort in not slouching? Bob, you need... Oh, I already read that one. How to get hair string algae out of a pond in Upper Oregon. I mean, the only thing you can do besides water changes and shading it is to just manually pull it out. That is the one thing about hair algae, is that it's usually the easiest to just, out of all the algae, you can just grab it and just spin it around, and it'll just like suck up all of the hair algae that's in there. Michael Wall says, so I got 7 Neolamprologus helenthus. I think you're maybe missing an eye, or no, you have an eye in there. I'm just looking at it. It just looks like an L for me. Maybe I'll move the chat a little closer to me. Sunflower Cichlid. So far, they have reignited my love for the hobby. That's great. You know, the awesome thing about that is there's so many more cool, Tanganyikan and just African cichlids in general. You have no shortage of fish to choose from. That's better. Thanks for not slouching. Oh, closed captioning is on my PC. Well, that sounds like your problem to me. I hate closed captioning. You know what? I am going to turn off closed captioning right now just because I hate it so much. So there you go. Closed captioning is on. I would never do that. I'm just kidding. There's a lot of people that rewatch this with closed captioning, so I would never do that to you guys. But I'm already starting to slouch again, so. Hey, Bob. How big a tank is needed for red, Erie, and rainbows? So, red, Erie, and rainbows, you're going to need a 4-foot tank. Whether that's a 40, a 55, a 75, 90, whatever. The minimum for an adult is 4 feet. That's just my opinion. There's not many Melanotania species that I would keep in under a 4-foot tank. Like maybe the Kamaka. I mean, obviously the Praecox. But those ones definitely 4-foot tank. West Africa has some of my favorite fish on earth. You want color in freshwater? West Africa. I mean, I do love my Nanochromis, and they are from West Africa. So I'm definitely not one of those people that are like, these fish are way better than these fish. Like as far as like South American versus are better than African or West African or whatever. All fish are awesome. Except for those big, boring fish in Central America. Oh, we could do without those fish. Let's be honest. They're kind of boring. As he said, he just sits in one spot all day long. Just saying. Bob finally got a group of Tropheus red rainbow fry. Sweet. 13 of them for 170 GBP. Bargain. Is it worth buffering water? I have crushed coral in the tank, but should I also use Lake Tanganyikan buffer? Well, only you can answer that. So, if you already have crushed coral, I don't know what your tap water is like, but chances are you're doing just fine. Yeah, unless your fish were like wild caught, they probably didn't grow up in like 9.5 pH water. So if you're like around 8.5, 8.7, you're probably just fine. Mike and Ryan. Hey Bob, what are the best angelfish tank mates and best setup? So all of that is pretty subjective. Best setup, I would say you're gonna want something tall, like a taller tank, so like a 20 long, really a 10 gallon, 20 long. Well, 10 gallons is just way too small anyways, but like a 20 long, not tall enough. So angels, they have the really high fins. You want something taller, like a 55 is a really good one, and obviously anything bigger than that. So, planet tanks, they love planet tanks. As far as tank mates, basically any community fish that doesn't fit in its mouth. So if you've got like nano fish, maybe some really small micro rasboras, they will prey on them. You could do like cherry shrimp, just know that they will prey on the shrimp as well. But if you in this tank behind me, you could do angelfish and cherry shrimp because there's enough plants, there's enough hides for the cherry shrimp that they wouldn't get them all. So what do I have? So I have Leopoldite angelfish, and I have them with some barbs, some rainbow fish, and some bigger tetras. Some people, I'm not gonna say a lot, but some people do like a pistos or dwarf cichlids that'll kind of hang out at the bottom, like right around here in the aquarium, when the angelfish will be swimming around up here. Basically, you just want fish that'll like occupy different areas of the aquarium. But when it comes down to like best, I mean that's just all personal preference. Brandon says, shout out to everyone who wouldn't go on Joey's podcast so he could start drama. Okay. I had Gourami with them before. Yes, I mean gouramis. I mean, obviously, there's some pretty big gouramis out there. Probably not the best, but any of the dwarf gouramis would be really good. Excuse me, do you have any gray poupon rainbow fish? All right, we are now heading into hour number 2. I hope the camera didn't pick that up because that would be kind of embarrassing as I just spit on everything after taking a drink. Hour number 2. Friendly reminder, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Also, friendly reminder, if you want to buy fish, buy them from Dan's Fish. Link is pinned in the chat. Would appreciate it. A friend of the channel. And also, I'm an affiliate. So, there you go. Hey, there's a bunch of awesome small fish from Central America too. I think they get overlooked a lot. That is true. That is true, Mike. I apologize. You are 100% correct. Yep. Yep. Goodeids. Awesome. Awesome fish. Yep. Don't some people use Tums for calcium? That is true. That is true. However, when it comes to my needs, like if I have something that needs calcium, say I used to have a mystery snail tank. The only thing was in there was mystery snails. I bred them. That was the only thing. Like the substrate was crushed coral and oyster shells. Like I would much rather have something in there permanently that's going to add that calcium and minerals than having to add like Tums or Cuttlebone or just stuff you're gonna have to throw in there all the time. If you just put the substrate in there, you're just starting out right. Chances are you won't have to add anything else. The downfall to crushed coral is I think it's really ugly. Probably the ugliest substrate you will ever come across, in my opinion, is crushed coral. May I post Amber's website? I don't think we can post links. I think I am the only one that can post links. I have links disabled. What's up, Bob? I just traded my empty 75-gallon and my Oscar pair for a veiled chameleon and a full setup. Okay, wait. Let me read this again. Slayer Sam. An empty 75-gallon and my Oscar pair. Well, right there. You're trading your Oscar pair. It doesn't matter what you're trading for. You're winning. You already won that deal. For a veiled chameleon and full setup. That is awesome. I will say a veiled chameleon is going to be way more work than that Oscar pair, so I hope you're prepared. But I'm sure you've done your due diligence. You know what you're getting yourself into. Definitely not a beginner reptile, but chameleons are so rewarding. Do you think it's true that colored gravel and painted decor leak toxins and kill fish? I do not know that to be true. Yeah. Uglier than neon colored gravel? I would say yes, simply because there's nothing like, at least the colored gravel is like looks the same, right? There's some conformity there. Crushed coral it looks so haphazard. Like it's different sizes, it's chunks of shells, it's chunks of aragonite, it's just chunks of junk. Like I don't know, it just does not look good to me. Going to do my first African cichlid tank, thinking Pseudotropheus solosii. That's a great one. Also Tilapia latifasciata, Synodontis petricola, and bristlenose thoughts. Counts on each. Well, counts on each would depend on the size of the tank. But like most African cichlids, you're going to want a lot. So it's not something you could just buy a couple of. You have to spread out the aggression. Synodontis petricola, I would say get as many as you can afford, because the more of those you have, the cooler they are. Like seeing Synodontis just cruise around your tank, if you have like one or two, yeah, they're still pretty cool. But if you have like a dozen of them, they look so awesome, just weaving in and out of everything. They're just super active. But yeah, it really just depends. Now I'm going to tell you, Solosii, whatever. They're pretty prolific, so you are going to get a lot of fry, so just keep that in mind as well. I would rather have crushed coral over painted pink rocks and marbles. But yeah, we're talking specifically of snails. Like, right? In the fish tank of snails, I will always think that like colored gravel looks better than crushed coral. I don't know why. Call me crazy, and I am. I'm not a fan of the Skittles gravel at all, but there's just something about crushed coral to me that is so ugly. Like I hate it. I hate it. This is why I use aragonite, because it just looks way better than crushed coral. I have Tropheus Mora Kasanga Red Rainbow. That is a really awesome Tropheus, by the way. Breeder used baking soda and Epsom salts. I'd rather use crushed coral, ugly as it is. pH sitting around 8. Hope that will be okay. I mean, honestly, yes, fish are highly adaptive. The thing you want is a stable pH, way more important than the correct pH. If you have just a stable pH, then most likely your fish are going to be happy. Now, obviously they're Tanganyikan, so if you can get it higher, better. But really, anything over 8, I would not be concerned about with Tanganyikan cichlids. My Cyprichromis, my Paracyprichromis, and my Shelleys, I have breeding out of tap water in Seattle, which is like 6.8 pH. Now, it took years for them to start breeding, but eventually they did. Bob, you crazy. I know. I know. Like I said, I cannot explain my hatred for crushed coral. Like, it's really good for your aquarium, but I just do not like the look of it at all. To me, it looks like somebody just, okay, there's a pile of junk over here, we're going to pick that up. There's a different pile of junk over here, we're going to pick that up. We're going to throw all this junk in a bag, and it's crushed coral. It's just, that's what it looks like. It looks like the scraps of like 20 different substrates, like all the leftover thrown into a bag. I don't know. I'm crazy. What can I say? I'm crazy. And you're crazy if you haven't hit the like button yet. So hit the like button. A pretty good transition, huh? I think so. Oyster shell, chicken grit could be good economical alternative. Yeah, I was actually very happy with oyster shell the first time I tried it. It worked really well for me. Best substrate for Corydora, breeding, sand. Actually, if it was strictly for breeding, I would pile rocks so that, one, the fry have somewhere to go after they hatch. And if the eggs like fall off, say they lay the eggs on the glass, pretty rare, but if they do fall off, they'll fall off in gravel and they won't get eaten because the Corydoras can't get down in there. So if I was setting up a tank specifically for breeding, I would probably use like bigger gravel just for those reasons. When I use crushed coral, I organize it like I can't use it how they usually have it. Right? I'm glad I'm not the only one. I can. If it looks ugly, could you not cap it off with better looking substrate? Yes, you could, but the idea is that, well, it really depends, because the more water flow you have going through it, the faster it'll dissolve, which means more minerals in your water. But yes, theoretically, you could cap it with like sand. It would just take a lot longer for it to dissolve and for those minerals to go into your water. That I watched the Ohio Cichlid Association International Tropheus Conference online. I did not. Ad Konings and Pam Chin are legends. Speaking of which, I'm going to be right back because I got to show you what I found as I was packing crap up. So listen to this sweet music and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Let's go here. What was the first fish I ever bred? That's a good question. I have no idea. I have a sump, so I might move the crushed coral. Yes, Steve, that's exactly what I did in my 240 gallon. I had that 125 gallon sump, and I just put all the crushed coral. I put it in like substrate. I didn't put it in filter bags or anything. I just dumped the whole bag down. Look at what I got here. Back to Nature, brand new, sealed by Mr. Ad Konings himself. And oh, here's a picture of him on the back. There you go. Brand new, still in the packaging. I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, I would like to actually look at it, but I just can't bring myself to take it out of the packaging. I won't do it. It's not like it's a collector's edition or anything. It might be worth something to a very small amount of people in this world, but I don't know. I just can't take it out of its packaging. Can I mix discus and guppies? So the discus will eat your guppies, but technically you could. Did you find your Bitcoin yet? I do have all my computers lined up in the other room, and I will be going through all the hard drives. However, my Bitcoin is on an external hard drive that I may or may not have found. I have found 2 external hard drives so far. The other problem is going to be trying to remember the password. Because it's been maybe 15 years. Bob, that's a beautiful tank. Going to buy the Trophius one. They are expensive books, though. Oh, that's a beautiful book. I don't know where I got a tank from. Yeah. I don't honestly, I don't remember where I got this. Probably at a fish auction somewhere. But yeah. Pretty excited to find it. Like, I knew I had it. I just hadn't seen it in forever. Discus and guppies have different temperature needs, and the discus would eat them eventually. Yeah, I mean, guppies can definitely go into the low 80s, but it's going to increase their life cycle. So, not ideal, but it can be done if you don't care about them being cannon fodder for the discus, that is. Open the bidding for the book at $50. The problem, Joe, is it would probably cost $100 just to ship it to you. So do you have the... Oh, so do I have to move? Maybe. Bob's been into crypto since 1998. I watched that Trophius OCA conference too. I won a drawing at the end for a big old container of Cobalt veggie flakes. It was a great show. That's awesome. Note, any cryptocurrency passwords. The problem is it was in my like intro to hacking or one of those stupid classes in college, and we all just did it as a joke. It was all like one of the, the school like handed out these external hard drives. It was just part of the class, and we're going through it, and we're like, hey, we should all just get one Bitcoin. We're just like screwing around before class. And Bitcoin was like $2 or something stupid, and yeah, didn't even take it seriously. So back then, believe it or not, I may not have been as mature and aged as I am now. So the password could literally be like I don't even know. It could be just something so random, like just probably something that I can't even repeat. But yeah, you get about, I think, like 8 tries or something, and then you lose it forever. Would rainbows pair with Shelly's in a 75-gallon? Yes, that has been done. I see no issues with that at all. Steenfott Aquatics, what would you put in an 8-gallon? Kyle, I would do a single betta, or I would just do shrimp. Maybe I would do like the least killifish or the Heterandria formosa. But there's just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of anything under 10 gallons. Like even 10 gallons to me, I'm not a fan of. So anything under that, I usually just do shrimp. Even with crushed coral, I struggled to get above 7. It comes out of the tap as low as test strips read. It has raised to 6.6, 6.8. Bought cyclic gravel, so hoping it helps. You should try like limestone or something like that. I've entered. Well done. Barbara Jackson. Holy smokes. it could be anything. I mean, honestly. I mean, plus, the world was a different place in, like, just even 15 years ago. Like, stuff has changed so much. Like, I would have to go back and see what, like, the current events were, and knowing how I pick my passwords, I would have to, like, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. The Zen Ginger, thanks, Dudette. Don't have cycle stuff. Do you have nitrifying suggestions? Also, without ammonia, what will nitrifying bacteria do? Let's see. What did you say? By using a cycle tank media from another established tank, like substrate and sponge filters. I have that. Finding a good nitrifying bacteria in a bottle. So most nitrifying bacteria in a bottle that you can buy has 2 different types of bacteria. And I'm not even going to pretend to remember the scientific names of these 2 types of bacterium. But there's one that converts ammonia to nitrite, and then there's another type of bacteria that turns the nitrite into nitrate. So it's just, there's I would go to the one with Fritz. I've had the most success. It's been so long I can't remember what it's called, but if you look up the company Fritz, they have a really good bacteria in a bottle, and that's what I would recommend. Going on Amazon UK to check for Ad Koning's books. I bet they're expensive. Oh, joking, but also seriously, try hypnosis and see if someone can help you pull the password. The depths of your mind. Don't tell them what it's for, of course. Even if someone had my password, like, they'd have to physically have the hard drive, and that would be pretty hard to get, and probably not even worth it. You can do some Scarlet Baddis in an 8-gallon. Yes, I mean, you could do Baddis in there, definitely. I'm not saying you can't do fish. I'm just saying, like, Fritz Turbo Start. I'm just saying, when you ask me for suggestions, I'm going to tell you what I would do, right? And that's what I would do with shrimp. I think that a decently large colony of shrimp in a smaller tank is more enjoyable to watch than, like, 1 or 2 small fish. But again, it's just personal preference. There's no right or wrong answer. Fritz Zyme 7 or Turbo Start, but Turbo Start is more temp sensitive. Now I can't. Turbo Start is the one I've used. I don't think I've ever used Fritz Zyme 7. Turbo Start isn't available in the UK. Well, then I definitely can't help you, because I have no idea what's available there and what's not. I remember growing up with a cell phone back in the day. The best times. Kids were outside all the time. Oh, without a cell phone. Excuse me. Cell phones. Don't even get me started on cell phones. I hate them so much. I hate technology. I pretty much just hate technology in general, which I get it. Like, that's kind of how I make my living. But I don't care. I still hate it. I found a pond product called Super Bugs. It is 1,000 times cheaper than Fritz Zyme and works awesome for cycling and breaking down dead plant matter. Super Bugs. Interesting. Like to add different brands for diversity. What? I'm always glued to super cool shrimp only tanks. Very fun to watch. I just find shrimp fascinating to watch, just in general. And a large colony, like a tank-only large colony of shrimp, is pretty fun. It's pretty fun to watch. I don't know. I get a kick out of it. Analysis for some 7, I remember. You don't eat Anubias? Well, that's good. Yeah, I get it, Eliska. I hate technology, says the YouTuber. Yeah, I get it. My degree, I have 2 degrees in IT, and that's probably why I hate it, because I know what it's capable of doing. And yeah, I hate technology he has into a giant microphone while he's live streaming on YouTube. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Hi, fish friends. Just got back from yoga. Kelly, hello. Welcome to the stream. I was just about to say, how does an IT guy hate technology? Well, you know, they say mechanics have the worst cars, right? So maybe there's something to be said there. Maybe I've just been doing it so long. I feel like a lot of people are not using technology in the best interests of other people, and it's only going to keep getting worse. Would a shrimp tank need a lid? Shrimps, they can crawl out, but would they? Probably. I mean, if you have the water like all the way up, all the way to the tippy top of your aquarium, then they're probably going to crawl out. But if you have it like below the lip, they're probably not going to crawl out. Dr. Tim's bacteria starters. That's one. Isn't that the one that you have to keep in the refrigerator? Like the bacteria is like actually alive and not dormant, or whatever they want to call it. Also, is that a new chair? Yes, this is a new chair, and it is terrible. I hate it. But I don't want to move my recliner back in here, just to move it again. So yeah, it's a Lazy Boy brand, and it is one of the worst chairs ever. So Lazy Boy, if you're watching, do better. Do better, Lazy Boy. This was gifted to me by Aquarium Co-op, so shout out to Aquarium Co-op, who bought the chair and was like, hey, do you want a free Lazy Boy desk chair? And I was like, what's wrong with it? Oh, it's brand new. Brand new. I'm just not going to use it. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll take it. I'm just kidding. He told me it was awful before I took it. So I knew going into it that it was awful. And he's like, hey, I bought this new chair. It sucks, but it might be better than the chair you're using now. And technically, it is better than my old chair, which is why I'm not using my old chair. But you would think it's a $400 Lazy Boy chair that it would be way better than it is. But it's very disappointing. There's not much lumbar support, and it's a desk chair. Anyways, I'll go ahead and stop that rant right now. You're telling me when it's 2021 and you have to explain what an address bar is? I don't miss those days. Now we're going way back. Way back. Almost everyone has to pay their dues in some sort of tech support. Man. I'm telling you. The stories I could tell of having to do tech support is just... Really. I did retail for 10 years, and I was like... This really makes me hate people. Like retail. Doing retail. I thought there's nothing that could make me hate people more than retail. So I quit retail and I went into IT, and I was wrong. I definitely hate people way more after being in IT than I did in being in retail. I mean, I thought what I had to put up in retail was bad. Try helping a doctor with his computer who thinks he's the smartest guy in the world but doesn't know what the address bar is. Or when you say, close down that window, and he says, well, how do I do that? Well, like, you've never clicked on the X in the top right corner before on any program ever in the existence of using a computer? How do you not know how to close out a window? As a doctor. Anyways. Enough of that rant, too. No more chair rants. No more IT rants. How about some fish rants? I don't know. There's also some substrates that has bacteria in it. Eco-Complete, for example. I don't think Eco-Complete is has live bacteria. I don't. I could be wrong. And I'm probably wrong, Caitlin. I'm probably wrong. Okay. I'll admit it. I'm wrong. Once I spent a day trying to figure out why this guy at work couldn't copy a file. After a couple hours of deep troubleshooting, it turns out he literally didn't know how to copy and paste. It doesn't surprise me. I've had to yell at people to turn on their monitor. Like, my computer's turned on. I can see the light. Well, what about the light on your monitor? What light on the monitor? The light that lights up when your monitor is turned on. Your monitor has a power button too. Well, I've never had to hit that power button before, probably because in the last 2 years, you've never turned it off a single time. And now, for some reason, it is turned off. Just hit the power button. It just can't be that, because I've never had to do that before. I'm like, okay, sure. Hit the power button. Oh my gosh, it's back. Oh, you fixed it. Oh, you fixed it. Thank you. Oh man. Well, Corey's messed with shrimp. Generally, I would say they are shrimp safe. However, if they are, scooting along and come across the little shrimplet, they're probably going to eat it. But they won't, like, seek and destroy shrimp. No, you'll be just fine. What would the minimum tank behind you would put in 6 what was the minimum tank I would put 6 Geophagus Tapajos in? Probably a 75-gallon, Brandon Lee. I'm sure there's people that will tell you like 55-gallon, but 12 inches, I mean, is not that much for a fish to turn around in when that fish is like 8 inches, because you're probably going to have some like rocks or maybe some wood, some hardscape. Yeah, I could never see doing anything less than 75 gallons for a Geophagus. So does power mean on? Yes. Uh-oh, sounds like Bob has tech support PTSD. Oof. I worked at a technology company for 12 years and I met some horrible people. It's just amazing. It is just absolutely amazing. What's even worse is when you get the IT guy calling you for help and you try to explain what the problem is, and he's like, I've been in IT for 20 years. Well, sir, you've been in IT, like you went through school when they were using punch cards and computer. So why don't you just shut up and listen to me, all right? Just saying. Freshwater Sea, my husband does the same thing, and believe me, I hear all about it. People don't know the difference between a computer and a monitor. People don't know the difference between a TV and a monitor, and that's just as bad. Although somewhat forgivable. Somewhat. How many gigahertz do I need to power a crisis? 1.21 gigahertz. Shrimp have overtaken my Cory tank. I've got hundreds of shrimp. Best office chair I've ever used were the ones they had in the Tesla offices. Gee, I'm sure those are cheap. Triggered. Cons of using CO2. Just started using it, and it's nice for keeping our hard water pH down and grow plants faster. Pat, cons of using CO2 is you're going to be trimming a lot. There is not a whole lot of cons. I guess it depends on like what type of CO2. If you actually have like the CO2 canister and the whole setup, there's honestly not a lot of cons. Once you're past like the initial investment, I would say that's the biggest con, is the initial investment. But after that, your plants are gonna grow so fast that the con is gonna be finding something to do. Because I don't know about you guys, but I hate throwing away plant clippings. I just hate it. It is like the worst feeling in the world to like trim 10 tanks and just be like, well, I guess these are going in the compost pile. Alexander Lamb says, I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you, buddy. Good to see you. #1 rainbow fish channel in the world. Keep it up. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will say I am so good now I can walk a dog through website support. Back in Windows 95 days, what do I do when the cup holder breaks? Yep. Well, I love Windows 95 though. It's probably one of my favorites. Maybe 98, but I don't know. I really enjoyed Windows 95. I'm sure there's a lot of nostalgia that goes into that, because going from Windows 3.1 to 95 was a pretty huge deal at the time. Stir Fry Guy says, my albino paradise gourami are supposed to be here tomorrow. Well, good luck with the shipment. I hope it comes in good for you. Comes in well for you? Good for you? I don't know. I'm not an English major. Does CO2 affect fish at all? Definitely, if you use too much. Yeah, you can definitely gas out your fish and kill them if you crank up the CO2. But generally speaking, as long as you have, the right levels, pretty harmless. How hard is it to keep water parameters stable when using CO2? It's not any harder than not using it. When I did CO2, it was a piece of cake. It's I don't know. A lot of people I don't know. I think get kind of nervous when they start thinking about CO2 and should they do it. I think a lot of that nervousness has to do with the initial cost because it is expensive to start doing it. But really, if you love plants and planted tanks are your thing, I would highly suggest just getting CO2 because it just opens up the door to grow so many more plants. It's ridiculous. Speaking of nostalgia, Age of Empire 4 comes out this year. Don't want to age myself, but I started with a word processor. Were you the punch card guy too? Punch card. I loved playing Minesweeper. I played the pinball game. Is there a way to stop my pair of Dovi from constantly spawning? Separating them. I'm not sure what to do with the fry anymore. Yeah. Dovi, convicts, there's so many of those cichlids that you just have to separate them. Now, if you have them in a 55 or a 75, you can get one of the tank separators that go in the middle so they stop spawning. But if you keep them in the same tank, they are going to spawn no matter what. Does CO2 make the water more acidic? If you leave your CO2 on all the time, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to set up CO2 as just set it and forget it. There's definitely a lot of tinkering. When I did CO2, I kept my lights on for 8 hours a day. And in the middle of that, I did CO2 was on for 5 hours a day. In the middle. So I only did CO2 when the lights are on. And it was only for 60% of the time that the lights were on. So there's definitely some playing around you have to do with it. But yeah, if you're not overdosing your CO2, you really don't have anything to worry about. I wrote my 5th grade paper on oh, I totally forgot about WordPerfect. Funny thing is now I work for the company that took over. That is kind of funny. Hey Bob, tell me if you think this is a good bargain. Price 3 angelfish about the size of a decent male for $50. Well, it kind of depends on the type of rainbow fish, right? Angelfish. So if they're just one of the more common species, probably not a good deal. At least in my area, you can buy rainbow fish for $1. I mean, seriously, sometimes they go on sale for $1. But if you're talking red koi or leopoldi or just, one of the more rare species, $50 for 3 adults is probably not a bad deal. Ultimately, it just comes down to, is it worth it for you? If you think the amount of happiness you're going to get out of 3 angelfish is worth $50, then by all means, then spend the $50. Whose sand waterfall is in the B-roll? Do you know? I don't know. I just stole it off of a B-roll copyright-free website. I was surprised to see it. The author's name didn't ring a bell to me. One of the B-roll photos I used was actually from Irene, Girl Talks Fish. And I was just, again, on one of these random free, copyright-free sites. And it was a really good picture of a Corydora, and it was Irene, and I was oh, that's Girl Talks Fish's photo. All right. How long might it take for waterlog dry driftwood? I found, Chad, there's so many variables to that. You're better off either siliconing it to a piece of granite. You could boil it, which will make it sink faster if you can fit it in something that will boil it. Yeah, otherwise, type of wood, how long it's been dry. There's so many variables that goes into how long will it take. Generally, when I go out collecting driftwood, I usually plan on it taking like 3 months. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it takes like a month. And I have pieces to this day that I've had for years that still float. So, yeah. How long might it take? Oh, I just got that one. Can I put them in the female 10-inch Dovi with a 2 12-inch ornate bikers? Wait. Could I then put my female 10-inch Dovi in with 2 12-inch bikers, bickers by shears, and 1 12-inch black ghost? I mean, it's a Dovi, so it could work, and it could work for a year, and then just one day it could just go and kill everything. Your best bet is to keep them breeding and just move the fry over to the other tank, and it's basically free fish food, because your bikers, your black ghost, they'll probably eat the fry. And I say the bikers definitely will, but bikers are pretty slow. They're kind of blind. So if you drop in like 200, maybe a couple will survive. So you got to be careful for that. But I think if it was me, I would be trying to move the fry over and just use them as fish food. I hate that I am the old person being like, back in my day, computers didn't have mice, just trackballs. And if your mom picked up the phone, the internet stopped working. I experienced all that too, so you can't be that much older than me, or younger. I've gotten them like that from Aquarium Paradise in Lakewood, Washington before I moved to Portland. Colin Morrison says, Bob, how can I get duckweed out of a 75 gallon? So there's a few things you can do. I usually just net it off. Now you don't get everything with a net. And what you can do is you can get mostly all of it out, just netting it out, just painstakingly. I mean, it only takes like 10 minutes, right? You just keep netting and netting and netting. And then if you have a wet, dry shop vac, you could actually just vacuum the surface and get all the little leftover pieces. However, if you have like hatchet fish or if you have shrimp that are floating around on the surface, just be mindful that you're not sucking up fish and shrimp. This is one of the reasons I can't use a shop vac is because my shrimp actually like glide along the bottom of the duckweed, and I've done it. It's very annoying to try to get all the shrimp off of the duckweed to try to vacuum it up. But if you don't have shrimp, that's probably going to be the easiest way. Net out as much as you can and then just vacuum out the rest. Or you could probably go on eBay and buy maybe an internal surface skimmer for like $15 or something and try that. I mean, it's going to be useless if you have a big tank, but oh my God, biker, see how they are spelled differently? You're killing me. Well, of course they're spelled differently, but they're still pronounced the same. Biker. Bikar. Is that what you're trying to get me to say? Bikar. I hated when someone picked up the phone. Didn't they know that I was going to try to chat in weird rooms? Oh my gosh, the AOL chat rooms. ASL. Oh my gosh, ASL. You gotta do it. ASL, question mark. Age, sex, location. Ugh. AOL chat rooms. Boy. Best way to get rid of duckweed, just burn down the fish room and start over. Yep. AOL chat rooms were the devil. By shear. I don't think bikers would like to be called by shears. Like, Zen Ginger, if I'm out riding my motorcycle and you say, hey, it's a by shear, I'll be like, I'm not a by shear, I'm a biker. Come on. It's pronounced biker. Biker. I am a biker. I ride a bike. I'm a biker. AIM. Yes. ASL. American Sign Language. Kyle says, I'm about to burn it down. I mean, honestly, you could get it all with a net, but prepare to spend like an hour of your day. And then basically, I mean, if you want to, you could like net most of it out, and then maybe just every day for like 2 weeks, just continue to look at it. You see a piece, scoop it out. Just keep scooping it out. Once a day, scoop it out. And eventually it will go away. I love that orange whiptail. Yep. I think it's, it might be a red lizard loach, or maybe I'm way off. I don't know. I'm probably way off. I'm usually way off. I thought it was by Schurz. I've heard it called bikers, by sheer, and bickers. I've heard it called bickers before as well. You know what? And it's beta, like who cares? You know what we're talking about. If I say ornate biker, you know I'm not talking about some Harley Davidson. You know I'm talking about a fish. Just like if you say beta, I know you're talking about a betta fish. So if that's something that sets you off, then I think you just need to reprioritize your priorities on what pisses you off. Like, right? If me calling them bikers, and I'm just trolling at this point, I'm purposely calling them bikers just because you're getting so upset. If that makes you upset, then I feel like it's time to just step back, calm down a little bit, right? When someone's upset, just tell them to calm down. It works. Just calm down. Do you have an email? I really want to send you a picture of my show tanks. It would be nice to show someone my tank who actually appreciates fish. You can send me an email at steenfottaquatics@gmail.com, and I'll probably see it in like a month. But yes, I do have an email that I rarely ever check because it just gets spammed nonstop. But yeah, I do have an email. Betta fish, like alpha fish. Hermit crab substrate scoop better than net. Hermit crab substrate. Oh, interesting. I've never thought of that before. I wonder if you could do like a colander. Colander? I don't know what it's called. I'm not proficient in the kitchen. Colander? You know the thing with the holes in it that you like rinse stuff in? I don't know. Eyeball. I mean, Haley, we all know that you're totally triggered. I apologize. Maybe I took it a little bit too far. I know you're a pretty sensitive person, so I do apologize. I will handle anyone who has issues with pronunciation. Shout out to Fish Tank Barn. That live stream is still one of my favorite live streams that I have ever watched in the history of live streams. Both Mike and Haley. I kind of wish that you would have handled them a little more harshly than you did, but you know, as a bystander 2,000 miles away, I couldn't complain. I thought it was really well done. One of my favorite all-time live streams. Okay. You know someone's a fish keeper when they pronounce betta like betta instead of the other way around. Betta. Me too. I don't hate anyone. Bikers hate being called bikies. Amica splendens the cockroach goodyead. Wait. Still pretty is best thing to disappear duckweed. I've never heard it called the cockroach goodyead before. Is that like its legit common name? I've never heard of that before, Alec. I don't know. Wait, I don't know what it's called. It's colander. I feed my dwarf Mexican crayfish Akari pellets. Is there something else I can give them? They do. So they're. I would definitely give them something else. I would do maybe something with a little more vegetable matter in it. Because they're not just strictly carnivores, they're omnivore. So I would mix it up with like a omnivore pellet or like a veggie pellet of some kind, just to give them some variety. You know, someone is a fish keeper when they think bettas are overrated. There was definitely a point in my life when I was like, dude, what's the deal with bettas? Like, come on. Like, they just sit in a little cup. Who cares? But then I actually got one, and I put it in a real fish tank, and I was like, okay, this thing's pretty sweet. And then I bought like 30 of them. And I was like, okay, maybe I just need to calm down on the betta fish. And yeah, that was I went crazy on the betta fish after that. She got big money for convicts. Speaking of like fish shows, and now I see Danikin Aquatics. I think it's pretty funny, Kenny, that you have. And I don't know why I find this funny, and not maybe more amusing. So in this Fishtoberfest coming up in October, you have 3 online fish vendors coming to speak at your club, and I want to know is there going to be like a cage? I feel like we need to get an octagon in there, like a cage match. And these online vendors just need to duke it out. I think that's the way to go. Or maybe like a Jello wrestling contest. I mean, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, throwing out ideas. But I just feel like there needs to be some type of competition that involves beating each other up. I don't know. Just an idea. You know, three different online fish vendors. Could be fun. How was the stream with Kaler's Aquatics? It was fun. It was a little, I've never been on a stream with that many people before. So having like 6 people, there was a lot of like, you start talking, and then when someone else starts talking, and you're like, oh, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go, no, you, and everyone's so nice. They're like, no, you go, no, you go. It's like being at a 4-way stop with 4 people. It's like, go, I'm waving you on, buddy. It's your turn to talk. We all said something at the same time. You go, no, you go. Okay, I'll go. And then once you're done with that, everyone thinks that like, okay, they're waving me on. We're all gonna go, and all 4 of us just crash into each other. So it was fun. I feel really bad for Skipper's Aquarium. I was supposed to be on his live stream yesterday and did a total MIA. And I don't know if he's emailed me back yet. He's probably blacklisted me by now. Nope, hasn't emailed me back yet. He's probably pretty angry. First time I've ever missed being a guest on someone's live stream. I feel terrible. Says Bob, who's a giant. Could Bob be the announcer? It's still like, the other fun thing is how many Bobs were there? Was like 4 Bobs. Or are you talking about the announcer to the Jello wrestling contest or the cage match? What else could we do? I would be the announcer. I'd be the announcer for that. But going back to Bob Kaler's live stream, there was like 4 Bobs there. And so people would ask like a question to Bob, and you're like, I'm just looking around. Is it me? Is it me this time? But it's always fun. I love being guests on other people's live streams. It's so much fun. It's such a relief, like not having to like, I don't know, like I'm on this live stream. I'm responsible to keep you guys entertained. If I'm on a guest on someone else's live stream, it's not my responsibility to keep you guys entertained. So it's way more laid back and relaxed to be a guest than it is to be the host. Any other good places to buy fish from? I've been itching to buy bulk fish, but Aquatic Arts is still in the move, I think. So last I heard about Aquatic Arts is they're restocking in 2 weeks. Hey, buddy. I love you too. Thanks for slobbering on me. I think we're 2 weeks away. I'm sure Oddball Aquatics will verify that, but 2 weeks. 2 weeks. The other place is the place I always forget about in Florida, which is, I don't know why. I don't know why I do this every time. Like, I know the owner, Mike Draughty, Imperial Tropicals. Like, I never forget the owner's name, but I always forget it. But there's Imperial Tropicals is a place I would highly recommend as well. Dan's Fish. I've only had fish from Aquatic Arts once, but it was a very good shipment, and Haley works there, so you know you're going to get good quality fish there. And I've had nothing but success from Imperial Tropicals as well out of Florida. Speaking of guests, when does Danny come on the stream next? I mean, whenever she wants to sit through another disaster of all kinds of technical difficulties. I think we're at a point where, I mean, if she wanted to, she can just come on whenever, which is what she did last time. She's like, hey, I think it's time for me to be a guest again. So yeah, whenever she wants. Anyone else here have Amazon puffers? They're fun to breed, joke, but they're fun to keep. They are very fun to keep. Very fun. You have to be dominant in the four-way stop. Blast your horn and go. What are they going to do? I don't even blast my horn. I just go. See, this is the advantage. Like, when you buy cars that are worth nothing, like, I have nothing to lose. You're the guy driving a Tesla or your Cadillac or whatever. If I'm going, I'm going. If you hit me, I'll just buy another junker. I don't care. You're the one that's going to be out $60,000, not me. I'm out like $500. So what? Should have let me go first. I know a guy who breeds fish, and he's cool. He's also a leader of fish group I curate on. Is it Fish Kid 61? Just kidding. How do we get on your streams? Do we book you? Is it similar to booking SpongeBob for birthday parties? How do we get you on our streams? So I am kind of a stream snob. I won't go on new channels. I do require... I have reasons for this, so don't just unsubscribe me and say that I'm some elitist prick. Let's just hear me out here. I do require somebody to do consistent uploads for at least 3 months, whether it's, you know, live streams or videos or whatever, simply because I can't tell you how many times I've gone on someone's live stream. You know, someone will start a channel. They're very enthusiastic. They'll do it for like 2-3 weeks and then realize, like, wait a minute, I've been doing this for 3 weeks and I only have like 20 subscribers. And they just quit. Meanwhile, there was a time where I was going on all these live streams for all these smaller channels. Yes, I'll come on, I'll help you out. And then just to see them quit after like a month, it got very frustrating. So that's why I always look to make sure people have been doing this for a while before I go on their channel. And that's why it's very time consuming to keep doing that over and over and over and over. You know, I don't want to say no to anyone, so it's like, yes, I'll come on your channel. Yes, I'll come on your channel. And then they just stop. They like people. I mean, we're in a society that wants instant gratification. If they don't have 1,000 subscribers in like a month, they just quit. So, yeah, it just got to be too much. So that's why I like to see a channel that's been doing it for a while. Yes, I will go on your stream. I don't care if you have 1 subscriber or 1 million. As long as you've been consistent, then I will come on. Now, I'm not going to lie. This summer has been a little more difficult to get me on a stream than normal because my schedule is so sporadic. So I do apologize to the people that reached out, like Skipper's Aquarium. Took me like a month to get a date locked down, and then I just bailed. So, yeah, like I said, first time that's ever happened, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. My grandies love your collecting expedition with Danny. Grandies, like grandkids? Grandies? Yeah, that was fun. We're going to go back up there and actually go to the ice caves, and I'm going to film that, but it probably won't be on my fish channel. That'll probably be on my outdoor channel since we're basically just hiking. Does anybody else use this live stream as a reminder to do their water changes? I always do water changes during the streams. Fish aren't getting instant gratification from being a fish creator on YouTube. Oh, you aren't getting instant gratification from being a fish creator on YouTube. Yes, I read that wrong. I apologize. All hail Steenfott. All right. Anyone know a good online source for CPOs, dwarf Mexican crayfish? Alex, I got mine from Imperial Tropicals. So I don't know if they're still keeping them, but that's where I would look. If I was to buy them right now, I would go to Imperial Tropicals. At the time, I did not know they were illegal here, so yeah, I could not keep them once I was told they're illegal. But oh, that's an I need to poop bark. If you can hear that, he can wait 5 more minutes, right? You can hold it for 5 minutes. YouTube is a real job. It is for me. It is for me. I literally have my hands in my tank right now. There you go. Literally, while she's typing, She's texting her phone, bloop, 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 from underwater, hands in the tank, bloop, 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 bloop. Just kidding. Just kidding. I do think that I'm gonna slouch. Susan is gone, so I'm not gonna get yelled at for having poor posture now. All right, I can slouch for the last couple minutes. I'm a consistent kid. Oh man. Anyways, hey, we got 5 minutes left. Hit the like button if you haven't already. If you've been sitting here this long and you haven't hit the like button, you should probably do it. You should probably just do me a favor. That's all I ask for. An occasional like. Here we go. Yeah, we only need 30 more likes. That's it. Just 30 likes. Via voice to text. I'm still painting a doorway trim. For the fish room, I hope. I think you said bedroom, though. Sounds like a waste of time. You should go paint the fish room instead. Is that the Nokia unkillable phone? No, that is the... So my Nokia was the Nokia 6100. But there is like the Nokia 5600, which would also be considered one of the breakable phones. This is the Motorola Razr 3. Motorola Razr 3. I'm catching flies for my carnivorous plants. See, that seems like a lot of work. Like house plants in general to me seem like a lot of work, and most of them only require you to water them like once in a while. It's still like, I still kill them. I don't know. Plants in an aquarium, I don't have to water, so I do really well with those plants. But house plants, I can't do it. I kill them all. 100% of the time, I kill them 75% of the time. I wish bathroom and bedroom in a vacancy. Nokia Snake was my jam. Yes, Snake. Snake. That was like time killer on the bus. We used to take the bus to Seattle, and you just sit there and play Snake. Catching flies for carnivores. Not when you live in Australia, Bob. I don't think it matters where I'd live. I'd still kill them. But, yeah. I've never been to Australia, so I don't know. Hopefully someday. Water your houseplants when you change your water. See, I did do that sometimes, but I still kill them. One time I even used ADA aqua soil for a house plant. I'm like thinking this house plant is going to be like the MVP of house plants because I'm using ADA soil, and I killed it. It was probably the soil. I had the Nokia 8210 at one point, Zoolander phone. My bedroom is my fish room. I have a rack with 6 75s, 4 29 gallons, and 14 5 gallons, and I have a 40 breeder and another 75 and a queen size bed so I can sleep. Sounds like you need to up or downgrade to maybe like a twin and maybe get a few more fish tanks in there. I don't know why you're being so greedy with your bed. You don't need a queen. Come on, that's too much room. Downgrade to like a twin. Get yourself some more fish tanks. That's my advice. You should get some succulents or air plants. Been there, done that, killed them. There's even a video on YouTube of me setting up an aquarium, and then I had like sticks coming out of the water that I put air plants on. Yep, killed them. Pothos killed that. Mermaid plant. Oh, no, had it, done it, killed it. I've killed it all. Spiders are the least of your worries. I want to go to Australia, but I hate spiders. Yeah, you can't really, like, I don't know. You can't not do something because you're afraid of something. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Too funny. I actually entertain the ideas of putting ADA aqua soil with my houseplant. I'm not even a fan of the ADA soil at all. Like, I think it's super overpriced. I think I got some at like a fish club auction for like $1 or something. And I was like, I don't want to use this stuff. And so I put it in a houseplant. True fish keepers sleep on the floor, or you can use like 75-gallon tanks and just put a row of 75s and put your mattress right on top. Good to go. Succulents are so hard to keep alive compared to houseplants. Succulents being easy is a lie. I think it's different for everyone. It's just like aquariums. Some people are just naturally gifted when it comes to planting aquariums, and they're the easiest thing in the world, and some people struggle. I'm sure it's the same way with houseplants and air plants and any plant, really. I don't know. You don't water air plants. Maybe Bob did. I didn't water them, and then they started looking like they were dying. Like, it looked like they were drying out, and so then I started watering them. But I only watered them like once every couple weeks. I would just like missed them. I don't know. I hate birds, and I still go outside. Yeah, but you're not afraid of birds, right? You're not afraid of birds. I had an air plant in my work office. The janitor sprayed it with liquid duster and killed it because he thought it was fake. Oh man, that's something I would do. That's totally my move. Oh, that looks like a fake plant. Oh man, I used in one of my terrariums. I used Easy Green. I was like, oh man, I've got all these terrarium plants, and I'm gonna spray them with Easy Green, and they're gonna grow so green and lush, and everyone's gonna be so jealous. So I was in there. I put Easy Green in a spray bottle for my fish tanks. So I had it in a spray bottle, and I was like, like I was shooting the substrate, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna mist it on the leaves, and I was like, oh yeah, these things are gonna go insane. And then the next day, all my plants were dead, and I was like, should have seen that coming, but I didn't. You have to soak air plants periodically. I sometimes soak them in my tank for 30 minutes. I did that too. It took me like 6 months to kill him, but I did eventually kill him. So like I misted him, that didn't work. And then when I was doing water changes, I would like take them off the branches and just throw them in the tank and go about my water changes. And when I was done, I'd take them back out and put them up on top. Still killed them. Still killed them. Some air plants are arid, need drier conditions, and some are from more forest, tropical places, cloud forest. So it also depends on what kind of air plant species you got. I had no idea. I bought some like random 15-pack variety on Amazon. It looked really good for like the first 2 weeks though. Like I was like, dang, this tank looks good. I have this planted aquascaped aquarium with wood coming out with air plants on it. I was like, woo. That only lasted like 2 weeks though. Maybe your plants need more light. Not now. They're all dead now. Oh, I'm going to go to Australia anyway. I intentionally do things I don't like, I'm scared of, because otherwise you'd never get over it. Yeah, you'd live a pretty boring life, in my opinion. I don't know. You just got to jump and see what happens. Mine only lasted about 1.5 years, so I did kill them eventually, too. I'm no good with any plants. I mean, I think the only plants I'm good at are spider plants and pothos. I joke, but I do fairly well with pothos and spider plant. Spider plant, like that plant is super easy to keep alive. That's one of my favorite house plants. Also, the one with like the long, really thick leaves. I have no idea what it's called, but that one too. Ever put pothos in sumps? Oh yeah, in sumps on top, in the lid. Some of my lids, like I would cut holes just to stick pothos down into. I kill all land plants. I have one pothos above one of my 75s that is thriving. Other than that, I suck. Yep. I'm scared of the IRS, but I still file taxes. Well, now is definitely time to be scared of the IRS, but the last few years wasn't a big deal. But now they're like threatening to go after everyone. It's kind of stupid, but whatever. Does anyone have problems with their cat jumping on their aquarium? I think everyone. Everyone. Bob is scared of I'm definitely not scared of Bigfoot. That is highly inaccurate. If and when I meet Bigfoot, we will be best buds. We will be BFFs forever. Always say I have a black thumb instead of a green one. How are you with pond plants? Killed them. Killed them all. I'm just joking. Honestly, I've never tried. I have one. I have something called like lizard's tail or something like that growing in one of my ponds. Otherwise, my ponds just have aquarium plants in them. You just gotta be careful about spider plants dropping X plants into your yard. They grow easily there too. Well, I don't have any spider plants outside, so that's not gonna happen. My cat is too fat to jump on my aquariums. That's a problem I have too. Too fat to jump on my aquariums. Spider plants like water without minerals, so I bet that's why you have an easy time with them. Took me forever. Yeah, like I put spider plants like right into the top of my aquarium, and they'll just drape over and grow all the way to the bottom to the floor. So yeah, that's probably why. Keegan Box says, I'm going to go get dinner. Have a good night. Thanks, Keegan, for stopping by. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. And it has come time to end the live stream. That was a pretty quick 2 hours. And I got dogs that are bugging me to go out, so I got to go real quick. We'll run through the list. No, I won't. I will thank everyone for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. Thanks everyone who left a comment, lurked, and thumbs up, and moderators for helping out. Don't forget the link to Dan's Fish is in the pinned comment. And thanks all the super chatters and members. We will be doing movie night on Monday through Discord. I hate to do it to you, but it looks like that's going to be the only option. So download Discord. We will go live on YouTube at our normal time after LR Brett's, and we'll try to get everyone over to Discord, and we will finish watching our movie. And yeah, it was so 7:30 Friday night, movie night. And otherwise, I'm out of here. I hope you have a great week. It's going to be a great week, so I hope you have a great week. And